possible. All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. So tonight concludes our series of 4 sessions on an intimate look at awareness. So tonight's session will be awareness and learning together. A little bit about our speaker from Estonia. Merike Martsepp is a dedicated member of the Theosophical Society since 2015. She leads a study group on the secret doctrine, manages the Facebook page of a lodge, and contributes to various projects supporting young theosophists. Merike values theosophy for its emphasis on independent thinking, ethical purity, and the path of unconditional love and service. Her wish is for the theosophical movement to sow the seeds in the present moment so that the greatest goodness that does not exist yet can be born, and the goodness that exists can grow more and more. Take it away, Merike.
Well, thank you, Brandon. Thank you. I now share my screen. Okay, can you see everyone?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes.
Okay. So, about awareness and learning together, Blavatsky have said that if we learn together spiritual topics, we understand 10 times more than if we would have learned alone. You know, that there are several reasons why is it that is so. One of the reasons is that different people know different themes and have studied different books, and also that you know, they can relate to different topics. And if we have open-minded and friendly study group, then there is a lot easier to share the knowledge to those who know less, and at the same time learn from those who know more than us on this subject. And for overall, it benefits everyone in the group. So even if someone is sitting quietly in the corner and don't say a word, they can also help with their thoughts, and they can also contribute to the collective thought field that is created. And, you know, in such a group, when we learn together, we get and give some info, some suggestions from others who have tried several techniques, you know, have read several materials and tried them out. And, you know, they can recommend us, and the same way as we can recommend for others. And this is like one of the aspects that, and we would, you know, if we would learn alone, then we would have to read many books and try many techniques until we found the suitable one. But in a group, this progress might be much quicker. So what is important is the willingness to share experiences with those who know less, and of course, learn from those who know more about the subject, to be open-minded, to be aware, like we have said. This is a cooperation. And for second reason, you know, if people are together and are harmoniously with the right motive, ready to study, then this kind of synergy happens. You know, synergy, it is an interaction or cooperation that is giving a rise to a whole that is greater than the simple sum of its parts. The term comes from Greek word synergia or synergos, which meaning is working together. And synergy refers to combined effect of different elements working together to produce results achievable by individual elements. You know, in Christian theology, it implies a cooperation between divine grace and human freedom for salvation. The term has application in various fields, including psychology, social psychology, and organizational behavior. In groups, synergy allows for better overall performance than if each member would work individually. However, the group cohesion can lead to negative consequences, such as groupthink and risky decision-making. So it is not always like win-win situation. You know, the group must be open-minded, and there must be respect for each other's opinions and for each other's. It is not like it is always, it's not like a magical formula that study in a group, because groups are different. But you know, usually the study groups of Theosophists are such that it is beneficial to study in them. But even then, you should be able to think of yourself. Is that group, is that kind? And you know, I don't know how to explain this synergy in detail, but I remember in Estonia we have this one clairvoyant man, Gunnar Arma, who has given this such an example that, you know, from the families from the Africa where there is not much food, the mothers hug their children very tightly, and this love and care gives energy that helps them to survive. And same is true that when the little children need touch and care and hugs to develop in a better way. And I think in a similar way, you know, grown-ups also need for the spiritual development others that you know, their thoughts and words will be like embracement. If you feel grateful for those contributions that everyone gives to their group, then we will consider their words and ideas valuable, and then we create some extra good energy where this inspired studying and working can happen. So this is, I think, a synergy that is happening there. And it is beneficial for everyone in the group, as well as those who are not in the group but are geographically near for those that are in the group. This is good. This good energy is, and you know, this higher thoughts spread everywhere and have their effects on their level. You know, and usually people are not really conscious or aware of it, but it happens. And since our talk is about awareness, so I try to mark it out. And so one other subject is our previously created karma traces. And well, the third reason why working together and studying together works well is that if you think, how is it karmically possible that we could learn together? I mean, we have created some really good karma in the past lives, such a reasons that it is possible for now. And that we are now able to learn in a spiritual groups, like in a Theosophical lodges, and be part of them. So I wanted to ask you, how many of you belong to the Theosophical Society? Can you perhaps raise your hands? Or I don't know. There's this icon where you can raise your hand. Well, really many, I can see. Perhaps even more, but not everyone has found it. But this is actually good. You know, that means we have learned open-mindedly before and previously as well. We have created some kind of cause pattern, so it might happen again when we are young. Like most of us, I think, are pretty young. Like we have over half of our, hopefully, our years before us, and we have potentiality to do wonderful things. So some say that, you know, there are no good or bad karma, because karma is not punisher. It is like a caring mother or a teacher who is who gives you exactly the amount of effects that you have created before and that you are able to overcome right now, and that helps you best in this situation of development. Now, the letters of the masters of the wisdom have said that the Theosophical Society is not created to meet the wishes of individuals, but for the service of humanity. It is important that we notice how we are all under the common karma law. Through an experience-based approach, we say, usually, my karma. But if you're looking more broadly, if there were no other, there would be no my karma. You know, I could, and this is said by Hannu Vienonen, one of my teacher in Estonia and in Finland. And, you know, the idea is like we have a good karma that we are able to learn right now in this together. But this is not created only by us. This is actually our karma. Like we have created it together. And this is wonderful. And, you know, I personally think that it is the best kind of karma to be able to learn spiritual themes together in a harmonious group where members are welcome to say their thoughts and ask in others, you know, ask questions openly in order to learn and to understand better. And now I would like to ask you, what actions will create reasons for the future so that we can again learn timeless wisdom together? Do you have some ideas? We have created previously this karmic actions, so we are able to learn right now together. But what can we do so this effects will and causes will continue? Yes. Okay, I can see that some of the people have raised their hands, but I can't see who. So maybe Brandon, you can.
Danny, Chris, please just feel free to unmute yourselves.
Hello.
Danny?
Hello. Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah.
Well, I did raise my hand.
Yes, please, Danny.
You asked the question, what actions will create reasons for the future so that we can again learn timeless wisdom together?
Yes.
Well, I have never stopped searching for truth in the first place. And I was able to reach some milestones in my search for truth. I think it started when I meditated. I saw a small book, it taught asanas, physical yoga, and mantra yoga. And I did that for, I don't know, months. And the zenith of my experience was I was able to experience the first level samadhi. I woke up feeling physical force pulling me in all directions. Really strong physical force. Because when I experienced samadhi, I was able to experience what you may call omnipresence. I was able to feel the whole of existence, although maybe a few seconds. And then a still small voice whispered into my mind and said, you have to explore your Christian roots.
Can you tell me again? I didn't hear it. The last one.
The still small voice whispered into my mind that he said, you have to explore your Christian roots.
Okay.
You know?
Yes. Well, thank you for this sharing. Like, I think if we ask what kind of reasons you can create, like such a sharing that you share, what was this that awakens your curiosity and what makes you study more? You know, exactly that kind of action that you shared, what was like the most personal for you. This is something that that you're ready to share it. This is exactly the kind of thing that will bring us in the future, learn together. So thank you, Danny. Thank you.
But there was also another level yet. If you'd like to hear.
Well, we have few more hands, so could you be so kind and tell it afterwards when we have a discussions section?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Danny.
You're welcome.
So there was a few other hands, but I didn't see them. I just saw that there were two hands.
Christopher raised his hand.
Okay. Hello. So regarding the question, what actions will create reasons for the future so that we can again learn the timeless wisdom together? What immediately comes to my mind is to share theosophy. So if, for example, today we're sharing theosophy to others, I feel that it will be our karma in the future so that other people will also share theosophy to us back in another time or in another period in another cycle. So that's the immediate thought that came to my mind. So maybe that's also the reason why we're doing what we're doing, why we're sharing theosophy, why we're doing all our efforts to spread theosophy, because we're also trying to help humanity by implanting the seeds of light everywhere, but also because somebody shared it with us and maybe in the future we'll be able to share it with them. And then in a future life, maybe they will share it back to us. That's the immediate thought that came to my mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Christopher. This is so beautiful. I just remembered that I have been part of the, when the Corona epidemic began, the School of Wisdom started to have their online courses. Before they were only, face-to-face courses. And I took part, the first course I took part was about Voice of the Silence, where Pedro and Linda Oliveira taught how the Voice of the Silence is Bodhisattva way, is the introduction to Bodhisattva way. And one of the things that Pedro says remained with me so strongly. He says, he asks us, what is the teaching? And, people give different answers. What is the teaching? And he says, teaching is actually that you are shown something, and then it is looked, what are you going to do with that, what is shown to you? And this is actually what Christopher, you said, that sharing the light, that you get something so beautiful and you share it. So in the future, it can come back and it can go forth and so on. And this is exactly the same thing that come to my mind when I first hear it. And this is so beautiful. So thank you. Thank you. So who is the last one?
Can I share something?
Yes, please, Freeman.
So my experience also during Corona was that we had lots of online programs. And the beauty was that when I met them actually in physical form in the convention, we were all hugging and kissing, and we were so happy to be with each other. I feel that your question, what actions will create reasons for the future so that we can again learn together, is the same what we create with any person. That is our karma. If we create good karma, that in the sense that like we learned from Barbara Merike, you were part of it.
Yeah.
That compassion means actually doing an action with not just being understanding, not just being empathetic, but actually acting. So as Theosophists, we are small groups, and there's no harm in getting to know one another more deeply. Not just talking dryly about our philosophy, but trying to understand each other's journeys and why we are studying theosophy, what has drawn us to theosophy, and then deeper bonds. I really liked what Danny was, I also couldn't hear him, but I felt that he was sharing a deep experience. But
Yes.
like, I don't come to this forum often, but I have lots of other friends, online friends, and I initially I thought that it's a very artificial kind of medium. People put on a facade and all that. But then now I feel that it's an opportunity, because I will never probably meet any of you in person. But for me, it's very heartening to feel that Merike somewhere is thinking the same thoughts that I am thinking. Or, there is a feeling of empowerment when we are together. So the thing is, because Theosophical Society does not offer any like solid support to anybody, even those who have got some official role. Nobody is saying, okay, I'm there for you, don't worry. There's no such thing. Everyone is alone here. So it's a journey of the alone to the alone. So that, I think, that sense of isolation all of us feel. But what I think will bring us all more together is we become friends in the real sense of the word. We get to know each other in the real sense, which I know over time it will come, like slowly. I mean,
yes, I totally agree with you, because when the Corona times opened the online courses time for us, they were before, but now we are more forced to actually use it. And, it opens something which probably will not go for a long time, doesn't disappear anymore. But exactly what you said, that it is better to meet person and person. And I hope actually that we will meet one day, like I would love to go to Adyar and see you all. But if we don't have this possibility to buy a flight ticket to the other side of the world, then, you know, we have at least the Zoom. We at least can discuss these ideas. We at least can, and exactly what you said, I can hear that somebody on the other side of the world is thinking the same, something similar, although they have all kinds of different experiences, perhaps, and you really feel that we are one in a like a global sense. We are one family. Like it is one step closer to the oneness, and I am really grateful for that. And well, thank you, Fimal, for sharing. This was really beautiful. Thank you. And you know, I also wrote down some of the thoughts that I was thinking that could create the reasons for a future. One is that we are using the possibilities we are given right now. Yes.
I think Miriam also raised her hand. Maybe she also wants to
yes,
speak.
Miriam, that would be wonderful. Can you share it right now? Please, Miriam.
Hi, can you hear me? Because I don't know, I am using my phone. And regarding your question, I would say that a thing that is very helpful is to wake up every day as it is a new brand day, right? As maybe the Golden Stairs by HPV tell us about an open mind and an open heart. Today, for example, I am in a Theosophical conference here in Spain. I will send you pics later.
Wow.
And it's wonderful when you take this approach that I'm here to learn about new things, and you meet with wonderful people that they have maybe very different points of view, very different from you, but when you allow those points of view when you're just open to them, you realize that here in the Theosophical Society, we can do a lot of things. That is so open, so big, since there is no dogmatic, and that everyone is welcome, and that creates a really enriching atmosphere that I think it's already transforming ourselves and the world. And well, I think it's very valuable too. And that's it.
Well, so thank you, Miriam. That was so really beautiful, and I can see that this very spring-like sense in your background. So thank you for that. And yes, exactly, that what you were saying was also my thought, that, you know, we are taking opportunity, and one of the things that is awareness is you're taking each day anew. You don't think like the same way. You are aware that it is a new day. It is new possibilities. Like you are ready to do things a little bit differently than before. You know, and this is also one of the reasons why it is suggested that, you know, before going to sleep, we are thinking through our day, how things went, what is good and what went not so good, and how could we do it better. So that in the next day we are able to make those changes, but also to be open-minded towards the ideas, because we are a lot of different ideas around us. And also I think that the Theosophical Society and lodges are some place that gives this possibility to have at the same time like ideas that are a bit like opposite, but it doesn't mean that one is true and the other is not. If you see the bigger picture, they fall into their place. But for that, you need to be open-minded. And this is something I wanted to, I will talk later in this presentation. So thank you, Miriam. And so yes, one of the things is that we are using the possibilities we are given, and also we are contributing, you know, by sharing the knowledge we have gathered, and, you know, not just sharing the ideas, but also taking those ideas and taking one step further, looking if they are really working in our own lives, so we can talk to like a first sense of experience, like this worked for me, perhaps it will work for you also. And, you know, for trying to understand the subject, I think this is also one of the reasons what get us back to the track to learn timeless wisdom. And one of the thoughts I remember that masters have said, that if they are looking for a student, they don't expect us to succeed right away, but they expect us to be ready to try, to act, to learn, you know. So only, what can I say? Just be ready. And we really are all one, from the highest spirit to the lowest atom of the mud, like Blavatsky have vertically said. And so appreciate others and their opinions around you, and be kind to them. They are also part of yourself. And since this is awareness series, so let's discuss about awareness in learning. And that is also something that needs practice. Why? You know, in a karmic view, what is a practice? You know, we are lifting heavier weights in a training center or gym, and so that little by little we will train our muscles to be able to be stronger, to have a every day, like lift heavier things in our life. And the same is true for the awareness. You know, we should try more and more be aware on everyday actions, like we were suggested before in previous Saturdays, that, you know, when you're walking to the parking lot, or when you're preparing the food or washing the dishes, or so on, that you try to be aware in those small things. Sorry, my bad. And why is it so hard to be aware all the time? Well, I guess it is because previously we have created much karmic patterns, and there are kind of this invisible karmic change. And, you know, those patterns are so deep that it is so easy to move in those patterns without being aware. But being aware, this needs effort. This needs, we have to make an effort to come out of this tracks that is very easy to follow. And what is going on in our heads, you know, for that to be aware, we have to be able to see that and stop it if it's not useful. And at the same time, it takes us a lot of force to depth outside of this pattern and create another pattern of awareness. And you know, it is like a child who falls thousands of times before they finally learn to walk. And like a child, we should not give up. We should do our everyday little awareness steps. I'm talking about myself. like this is how the awareness is growing. And like do it over and over again until our mind muscles are strong enough that they could go further. And, you know, according to the secret doctrine, before our race, there was different races like Atlanteans and Lemurians and so on. And, they used to have different kind of mind levels. And for thousands and millions of years, we fall more into this material world, deeper and deeper into those material bodies. And so our souls would be able to learn how to master material with our mind and willpower. And so in the end, we will be able to master the physical realms in the future, like Annie Besant have explained it. And for that reason, so we could go to this, our common finish line. We should practice the small awareness steps. And so we would be able to do it knowingly. It is hard, but it is worth. And also to try to see a bigger picture. If we choose not to practice awareness and not to study spiritual themes together, perhaps not to study them at all, or read some text just out of curiosity, but keep living like most of the humanity at the moment, in that case, our development will be very slow. We would collectively get to the higher awareness, perhaps after many thousands or millions of years, struggle and ups and downs. But instead, going with the flow, we could make conscious decisions to make every day some effort to be more aware. These small steps to be small, quicker steps towards the directions we are anyway heading. And so there, in that case, there will be less struggle and less sadness and dissatisfaction when the unpleasant situations occur. And in that case, there will be more peace around us. So we would be able to start to see the bigger picture and contribute in the small way in the better world. And also, Hannu have brought out a few good points about it. He has said that the question all the time is about how clearly we can see the manifestation of karma from a karmic point of view. If in this life, anger and resentment are the most dominant, then in the next life, we may be born into the conditions where there is not even a smell of the Theosophical teachings. This is like, wow, like what is you're developing in your mind? What is you're holding up? Like if we start to be aware, then we are able to notice it. And manas, our mind in Sanskrit is therefore important because through it, we will be able to see how we have been developing our poor qualities. If the kama manas, our lower mind, is dominant, then we would say, this is your fault that things are bad. You're the reason, you're the culprit, and so on. But if the mind is dominant, if the buddhi manas or the higher mind is dominant, then there is no culprit. Then the mind is at peace. So if you are able to hold this peace and not searching for who fault is it, then you are already few steps ahead of this awareness process. So it's wonderful. But if you notice that you are accusing others, so perhaps you should try to think instead how you can make this situation better, and instead of finding the culprit. Because one day I was really starting to think that, you know, somebody did something to me and it didn't felt good. So I was thinking, perhaps I did something like that in my previous life. I don't remember it that I have done it for him, but perhaps somehow it is true. And so I was thinking, but did I did just like that? Maybe he did something before me, and so on and so on. And then I could go for many lives back. And I was thinking, no, this is not important who started it. It is important how we can end it right now. So yeah. So, oh, sorry. So the same way as Buddha used to say, one of for his students and followers, that, you know, don't believe anything out of blind faith. Try to out those words. See yourself if they are true, and then make your decision accordingly. You know, the same way I suggest to try out to learn together, like learn alone, study alone, and then also learn, if possible, together in a group, so you can see the difference. Is it really better? What Blavatsky have suggested, because it might not. Be honest, like I myself have for a few years already have lectures both in my lodge where I joined, but I didn't join right away. You know, before I joined 2015, I have several years before I was just listening and seeing it is really better to learn together and to be alone. So, you know, looking it back, I wish I would have joined before, but it is like it is. So maybe next life. But it is important that you just don't take what authorities have said about before in this subject. You know, our school system mostly teaches us to believe in authorities, and in a certain extent, it is necessary. Because in the beginning, we don't know much about the subject and what we are going to study. But while we are studying and we are having this information and knowledge, we should be able to hold an open mind. You know, this is their opinion. Is there a proof that says it is right? Can I prove it? Like, or is it just a theory? Is it just a good theory that everybody accepts because we don't have any better theories at the moment, at present? You know, see how things really are. And one of the best advice that I have been given to me is, don't have a fixed point of view, or you could say don't be stuck in your perspective. For example, you may think, you know, this person is bad, or this situation is so awful, but perhaps something that this person has done is not wise in the light of the knowledge that you have at the present moment. But remember that this person is not what he or she has done in the past or at the moment. She has many karmic traces that has caused this action, and at the same time, she or he has potential to do many good things in the future. They are not fixed in this moment. They are something much larger, and they have potential to grow, even if they don't act right now in a wisest way. You know, there is a seed to be wise in the future. You know, see that despite the karmic traces that have led to them there in recently, there is still hope, and that no person or no situation is fixed picture. Everything is constantly moving and changing, and that is why we should not have fixed viewpoints. Instead, we should try to see what are the causes, that are the reasons for the effects we do not like, and how could we ourselves create better causes, and also how could we help, not help only because we know better, but because this is something natural to do. In some situation, there is not much we could do with a physical action, but we could always be aware how we are thinking of this situation or person. Do our own thoughts and words contribute to the better future, or are we fixed in the negative happenings and the past? It is not bad if we see how things are, but we always should remember that life is constantly changing. Solar systems and galaxies are all the time moving. So the same goes for the particles and atoms, and there is always movement where is life, and no bad situation will last forever. So try to be more aware and find yourself some suitable awareness exercises and try them out. And remember, keep an open mind and don't be fixed with your viewpoints. Be ready to change them. You may have viewpoints, but don't be too stuck in them. This is not the truth. Just because I have a thought does not mean that this thought is truth. And it is possible, if it is possible, find some study group or lodge where there is studying going on, and investigate together the spiritual topics and books, and see yourself in the first hand. Is it beneficial or not? Don't believe it. It is better. And we live in this wonderful time where we have all kinds of possibilities. And I take part of many different study groups in this last year. And like we said before, with Vimal, that this is so wonderful to understand that somewhere other side of the world, there is someone who is thinking the same way. And this is bringing us together. And I also suggest, if you have this possibility, look what the School of Wisdom is, what the series and what kind of talks they are offering. In May to July, it is Kim Dew is giving this wonderful talk about meditation that lasts 1 hour in every Friday. So this is going to be wonderful. But there's also, if it is possible, you could see what is going on and participate if it is possible. And so you can see, not in only that, how to say, that your experience will not be only with this one group where you study, but you have different group, different ideas. Our time is giving this possibility that we have this internet. 100 years ago, they sent letters and it will took several weeks to get another side of the world. But now you just click it, and in a second, less than a second, it is other side of the world. So it's a wonderful time, and we should use this opportunity. And it is our karma that we have born in this kind of time, And for a long time before, it wasn't possible to have so much knowledge, like from different religions, and to be like that everybody could get to know, if they're interested about theosophical ideas. It is possible now. So this is our good karma. So let's use it in a wise way, so the possibilities could continue also in the future, and not only for us, but for everyone. So thank you. That is all for now.
Thank you, Merike.
Brandon, could we have perhaps a small meditation?
Yeah, we'll have a shorter one. All right.
I'd like to make a comment. I don't know if Merike,
Sorry.
time is over. I would like to make a comment.
Well, yes, you can make a comment, but we can also, after a short meditation, we also have a time for a comment, but you can make your comment right now if
No,
it's
okay. No, it's okay. I'll wait for the time then, after the
Okay.
meditation. Okay, good.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be using my handphone instead because the connection is more stable. Okay, before we begin, please feel free to grab any props or cushions that will allow you to be seated comfortably. Let us begin by finding a comfortable seat, whether you are seated on the floor or seated on your chair. I invite you to close your eyes and start to draw your awareness inwards into the body and the breath. As you breathe naturally, notice if there is any tension you might be holding in the body, and the clenching of the muscles, the shoulders. Simply allow any tension to flow away down into the surface beneath you with every breath you take. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. Allow the belly to relax. Start to notice the sensation of the air passing through your nostrils. Perhaps feeling the warmth or coolness of the air as you inhale and exhale. Perhaps noticing the breath within the body, the rise and fall of the chest or the abdomen. allow yourself to settle on the sensation that feels most predominant to you. As you breathe in, be aware that you are breathing in. And as you breathe out, be aware that you're breathing out. And now we start to scan the body from head to toe. With every exhale, relax a different part of the body, beginning with the crown of the head, be aware of any sensation at the top of the head. And as you exhale, relax completely. Coming down to the forehead, loosening the area between the brows, the back of the head, the temples, the eyes, the cheeks, the ears, nose, jaw, and even the tongue. Feel these body parts from inside out. Relaxing the back of the neck, and spend some time fully relaxing the shoulders. Drawing your awareness down to the upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, and fingers. loosening the chest. The upper back, middle back, and the abdomen. The lower back, the hips, the glutes, thighs, and knees. The calves, shins, ankles, feet, all the way into the toes. Now, becoming aware of the entire body from inside out, getting a sense of what the body feels like in this moment. There is no right, no wrong. Simply allow the body to be as it is, right here, right now. Feeling a sense of spaciousness within the body. Now, feel the outline of the body blur and merge into its surroundings, and become aware of the space of consciousness in and around you, where thoughts and feelings arise and disappear. Play with your awareness and become aware of this bigger body. Be aware of every part within this bigger body, and allow yourself to watch what's happening within it. if there are any sensations, any thoughts, allow them to come and go like clouds floating in and out of the clear blue sky. There is nothing to keep or push away, nothing to change, nothing to attain. Simply observe and be this space of awareness. Now, become aware of an even bigger body, a larger sphere that encompasses vast distances and everything within it. See if you can become aware of this far larger body and everything within it. Simply watch. Simply be. Awareness does not come and go. It simply is. Seeing without eyes, knowing without mind, being without becoming. Now, feeling a sense of spaciousness and peace. Gradually bring your awareness back to the physical body. Filling the body with a sense of well-being. Become aware of sensations and sounds. May all beings know peace. This meditation is now concluded.
Thank you so much, Brandon, for this beautiful meditation. Now, if anybody Munganga, you wanted to comment, and perhaps you too after him, Danny.